Hi, and welcome to Technique Tuesday. Today we are going to put a clear coat on top of our designs using a product called liquid glass. It's by a company named TriArt, and there's only a couple places you can buy it. One of them is Dick Blick Supplies, and I don't recall the name of the other place, neither which are paying me to say this, but they call it a pouring medium and a finish resin. It doesn't have the odor like resin, and it doesn't require you to mix two items together, but it does leave you with this really pretty glossy finish on top of your items. So these all have it on. See how it shines? This one has a very, very thin coat on, and so this is an example of one that doesn't. So doesn't. Very pretty, but doesn't have that protection and that shine to it. This looks like tooled leather to me when it's done. It's just the peacock design. So let's go ahead and get started with what we need. First, we need the liquid glass. When this gets shipped to you, don't immediately start using it. You want to go ahead and let it sit for 24 hours because you don't want any air bubbles in it. And we've seen how boxes get tossed around in shipping, so we want to go ahead and let everything settle. Do not shake this bottle. Again, we don't want air bubbles in it, so don't shake it. Use it just as it is. That's why I'm being very gentle with how I pick it up and put it down, because I don't want to cause any air bubbles in it. I'm also going to use these little tools that I got from the Dollar Tree. On the one end, I'm going to use this to kind of scoop the liquid glass, and the other end, the pointy end, I'm going to use that to move the liquid glass around on my design. Also want a little container. Depending on how much you're going to liquid glass at one time, you might need a bigger container. But I like keeping the takeout dressing containers, things like that, and using them for things, such as pouring and painting. So you can use this on big items like these. You can also use it on smaller items like these. So I have one here that I did just a little bit ago. And let's see if I can get this up so you can see it. Again, I'm trying not to tilt it because I don't want the resin to run. So you do want to put it on a flat surface before you put it on there. And this is in the process of drying. I'd give it a good 12 to 18 hours to dry. I'm probably being very cautious with that. You probably don't need quite that long, but that's just me. Now, if you're working on something and you're using a light source like this magnifying light, also know that it's going to warm everything up, and your resin, your liquid glass, is going to cure faster. So if you're working with a big item under a magnifying glass, please work quickly, because you don't want to start moving it around as it's starting to dry. So let me start with a bigger item and show you how this goes. Oh, also going to want some baby wipes. You can if you want to. I know it does say resin on it, so if you want to put some gloves on, perfectly fine. It's not like I'm going to ruin my pretty nails, so I'm just going to go without. So again, don't shake the container, and I'm just going to pour a little bit into a cup, and let's see, that's probably good. Make sure you wipe this lid off with a paper towel or something like it. You don't want the lid to glue itself shut, because it does get sticky and it does get hard, but not poured resin hard, not cast resin. This is a softer hard. Oh yeah, that made absolutely no sense. Okay, close the lid, put that to the side, and that's given this a chance to just kind of sit and settle. And again, don't want to cause any extra air bubbles. So I mentioned that I'm going to use this end to scoop it out, and I'm going to use the sharp end of the other one to move it all around. If I tried to do both with the same instrument, I'd end up with this stuff all over me. So, okay, wipe that, dry that. Alright, so have your item on a level surface. Even though my table should be level, with this padding on it, I still want to put it on something a little softer, a little firmer, sturdier. That's the word I'm looking for, sturdy. Okay, so gently. Now, you can just pour this directly on, and if you have a big item, it's usually the best way to do it. So let's try it with this one. So we're just going to real slowly pour some of this, not all of this, right into the middle. It's better to do multiple thin layers than one big layer. So the reason I want to pour it into the middle is because then I want to gently pull it out towards the edges. Now I know this isn't going to be enough to cover this whole thing, so I'm going to go back and end up pouring more on here, but this just gives me a starting point. So use the sharp pointy end of this and just drag this to the edge. You don't want it to go over the edge, but if it does, it's not the end of the world. Let it dry, and then you can usually just kind of take your fingernail and scrape it off. But I also want to make sure I get good coverage. If once it's dried, you realize you didn't get good coverage, or it shrunk a little bit on you and pulled away from the edges, you can go back in and put another layer on there and fill it in. So every action you take, though, make sure you're not creating air bubbles. So you just want to real gently just drag it. You're not in there whisking up scrambled eggs or anything like that. So you can see that I'm getting right to the very edge, but that's clearly not going to be enough, so we'll pour a little more in there. You can always add to it. It's just a little trickier to take away from it. Pour it nice and slow, reduce the air bubbles, and then gently pull it to the edges. And I'm just going to slowly rotate it and go to the next section. If you kind of do it section by section in your mind, it makes it easier to figure out what you've done and what you haven't done. And then I'm going to take this other one and gently hold it so that I don't get my hands all in it. Just pull it right to the edge. May look a little cloudy to start with, but don't worry, that'll clear up. And underneath on this one, I just used, I'm pretty sure I used colored pencils to color this one in. On some of these other designs like this, I used a paint marker, an acrylic paint marker. So it doesn't really matter what you use underneath to color it. It's still going to work just as well. Now if your item has a hole in it to hang your earring findings on, go ahead and gently kind of pierce through the to make sure that your hole stays open. If it does get liquid glass into the hole, don't worry. Again, once it's dry, you can go back and just re-pierce that hole. So I think I'm back to the beginning here, but now I'm seeing some little areas that it's pulling away from the edge. So I'm just going to go back and get those areas. Don't really want to pour more in it because I feel like I got a good thin coat, and that will be my starting point. If I come back later and realize there's a bunch of places I missed, then I'll just do a second coat. Okay, so pretty good there. I'm just going to push that off to one side and let that dry. Like I said, this is one that I did just probably an hour ago, and you can see it's already starting to dry on me. So again, I'm going to leave that off to the side. And with a smaller item, this is where I tend to go in and scoop and drop this on here. That way I can control where the drops go. That's a big drop. Didn't I say control? Oops. So I'll hold it with one of these and just spread it with the other. Right up to that edge, covering and sealing all of this paint underneath. And again, this was an acrylic paint marker that I used on this purple one, just like I did on the pink one. Just work my way around up to the edge, and then leave it alone. Walk away from it. Let it dry. Don't stick your finger in it and test to see if it's dry yet. It's not. It's not dry yet. I promise. Just leave it alone. Walk away. Do something else. Come back 12 hours later. And then you can see your beautiful end product. Hope that was helpful. I look forward to seeing any posts that you make regarding items that you've used liquid glass on. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.